And we back. Now, no one will think I'm crazy whenever they hear me talking to myself. Got one of the skulls from the pot. Ooh, sister's dog's losing. Break this ear canal loose. Ear bones. Yeah. Nothing like having cooked deer meat slop hit you in the face. Scrape the skull off. We got all this meat and cartilage out. Scrape all this meat off. Cooked meat, gotta go. It'll be crazy how clean this is gonna come out. Fortunately, Bad Larry lost his nose tip in there, so I gotta glue that back in. Scratch this around. Trying to get all this heavy crap off the back of the skull. I don't know who did these ones, but it's not great. I swear it wasn't me, but Dad also usually gets his cleaned up pretty good, unless he just got distracted and didn't finish it. And then he thought it was, because this isn't not quite right. Yeah. Ooh, that's hot. Who knew? Fresh deer skull out of boiled water, hot. Yeah. All trimmed up. All right, go out to the pot and get the other skull, and hopefully the nose didn't fall off that one. Turn that down a bit more. That is boiling too much, in my opinion. All right, another decent buckhead. A little shake outside and back in. All right. And we have another skull that needs picked clean. Three boiling. Two are probably almost done. One needs a bit more. And then I've got one right here on the table that I gotta finish up. All right, there we go. And back. Back and clean the skull. Scrape some of this cooked meat off. So many fatty little deposits, glands and crap, nerves, things that you wouldn't like. You know you have, but you don't see. Well, howdy. I'm back. I just family came home, so I was explaining. I'm like, if you hear me talking, I'm just on a live stream. And then Dad came in and was like, "Hey, where are you at on these?" So you hear other voices because people have now come home. So yeah, how's life, man? How are you doing? Hopefully good. Um, had a good Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to Christmas. A, because it's Christmas, and B, because I am ready to be on the other side of all of this stuff. There we go. Get my mic back in the right place. Lapel mic is definitely next. This stuff's really only like, I don't know, only have to worry about this probably for another month or so, getting deer heads in. You won't be another Mike Barron book. Yeah. 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 I don't know. All the kind of random stuff that happens in CG, and like I'm kind of torn between the whole like make your bag. So if you can go somewhere and work for somebody, and even if you don't agree with them, like just make that money. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of weirdness. Like I found Comicsgate and kind of indie comics through Doug TenNapel, and we obviously know how that whole what they shook out with Comicsgate, and like he ended up blocking me because me and him, like I was talking or I was in his comments, we took a shot at CG, and I'm like, why? Does his store still have books on it? Last time I had looked, like it kind of went back and forth for whether you could even find like his books or not. I have, I think, the two Bigfoot Bill books. I wouldn't mind getting the Earthworm Jim stuff, but finding it secondhand was brutal. I'm like, sorry, I would have to really, really, really love something to drop like $250 on it. A little bit of brain matter, yeah. And whenever it's like I haven't read the books, I'm not gonna drop that much money on it. Okay, all the books are restocked. Okay, I might have to check that out then. I wouldn't mind getting stuff like I really like his cartooning style. I really wish that he would go back to making comics. Like I understand the political grift and making the money off that, but like I still just really wish he would go back to making comics. Sparkle and Spay was okay. Some of the animation, I don't know. I just he started reusing a lot of the same frames, and like you can do that, but it looked jarring in a few things. 3 books, free shipping. I mean, I can't go wrong with that, right? Shipping, I know lately has been a killer for people, especially if they're international. I couldn't imagine having to drop like the cost again or more of a book just to have it delivered. That's nuts. Yeah, well, that's what who was it? I follow Kat Garner, and I know that she finished coloring whichever book she was on last now. I don't know what book that was offhand, so yeah, I don't. He's probably just saving it for a rainy day at this point. Like if the political streaming fails, then hey, I'll go back and put another book up on Kickstarter or something. Yeah, I just Kathy. Yeah. Well, she seems to go kind of back and forth. Like I like her overall from my interactions with her, but she seems to kind of go back and forth between like she doesn't have that many people that she interacts with, but she'll go from being like, oh, there's just so much drama here, and then she'll bail. And then I'm like, I didn't even see her interacting with anyone to have drama with. Like, oh, okay, whatever. But yeah, originally we were, it was her and I both were like, Doug, why are you? Yeah, Earth Boy, that's what it was. Like, why are you always fighting with CG? Like, you kind of moved on, so why wouldn't you just move on? Why do you have to keep circling back and kind of doing like exactly what Edwin's doing right now, where it's like this, I gotta try to dunk on him, and you're like, why? Like, it wasn't even a dunk, but why are you acting like it is? And her and I both were like kind of talking, and I was like, yeah, why are you doing this? And he blocked me. I was like, oh, okay, like I wasn't being crazy. I wasn't like harassing him. I just was like, yeah, CG seems pretty cool. Like, it seems like you guys should be on the same team. Why are you fighting? And he blocks me. I'm like, okay. Whereas EVS, I ask him, and he's like, hey, here's my recollection of events, which, again, might not be the whole truth, but at least he took the time to explain. I gotta go drop this in the pot, and I'll be right back. Back in the pot. Oh, is the weather kicking up yet? Not quite. All right. Gotta try to figure out how the hell to get these things back in here all at the same time. Because it's kind of like Skull Tetris. And I need to add some more water to my bucket. Stinking thing. Who knew? Steam. What is steam? More water. All right, come over here, check the chat real quick. That's right. Yeah, well, that's what I'm a Christian, and I don't think we ever did Nazarene, but like we kind of hopped around a little bit and did like evangelical and whatnot. So I don't know. It was just kind of odd, and I've come to. I mean, I've never like it's not as dramatic as the don't meet your heroes, but it's kind of like, hey, everybody's their own beast, and I understand that, and I can respect that to some extent. So like, if someone believes something really strongly, even if I might not agree with it, I'm like, okay, I can understand that that's a big thing for you, but whenever it's someone just kind of acting a little bit nuts, I'm just like, okay, like why are you like this? Yeah, Matt Barr for me is a lot like that, just kind of a nutty dude. Whereas Doug, I'm just like, I don't quite get where you're coming from, man. But I really enjoyed a lot of Doug's other work. Like, I still recommend his podcast with Ethan Nicole, Audio Mullet, to my friends, because I'm like, hey, yeah, it's old, but like, the content was good. Also, it's kind of interesting to see the time capsule of them going over COVID. I'm sorry, I'm back. It's because I walked outside, so the mic probably crapped out. Yes, I'm Protestant. Prot. I have a lot of friends, at least online, that are Catholic, at least one Orthodox, and it's we generally all get along. It's just kind of one of those. They see things one way, I see things another, and I'm like, hey, okay. Like obviously they think they're right. Obviously I think I'm right, but at the end of the day, we line up on enough things that's not that bad a deal. And I never got into the QAnon shit. Like the whole, like I would see conspiracy theory stuff, and a lot of it made me like kind of chuckle, and some of it I was like, yeah, there's probably some truth to that. And I don't know, just like with identifying with any single online personality, it's like if person A is fighting with person B, unless one of them is like actually a maniac, it's probably the truth is somewhere in between. It's probably not 100% this person or that person is correct. It's somewhere in between. And one might be more correct than the other, but like it's not all their story. So whenever I see conspiracy theories, I'm like, this came from somewhere. It could be complete crock, or there's probably something in there that came from someone who knew what they were talking about. And then unfortunately, it just kind of got bastardized along the way. So I never really super fell into that other than just like posting jokes about conspiracy theories on Facebook and stuff. So never got real heavy into that. But then again, maybe I'm a little lackadaisical in some of it, but some of it I turn into, well, unless I can do something about it right now, then why am I worrying about it? Like life's too short for me to be angry or flipping out about stuff that I have zero control over. And if a lot of this stuff comes to pass that it was true, well then we'll deal with it. But yeah, I do think that Ethan is correct whenever he talks about Doug got a taste of the money from talking to probably mostly boomers, and being like, yeah, here's this chance that there's a 1% can trigger a recount in this county or whatever. Like, again, probably some truth behind it, but you're feeding this to people and probably not being completely above board on exactly what's going on and what the chances are of these things. Like the current political climate, I felt like anything could have potentially happened, but it was if you were betting, it was like the betting odds seemed correct, right? Like if you looked at statistics and historical happenings of the past of like what happens to someone's chances if they survive an assassination attempt, it's like, well, like, okay, well, it happened twice. Like you got all these other anomalies that it's like, okay, well, they're going to run Kamala. She probably is going, like, there's a high likelihood she fails. And it's because of all these like anomalies against her that she really doesn't have anything going for her. So I was like, all right, yeah, I can buy that, but never got too deep on QAnon. I did watch Doug for a while whenever he was one of his many in exile channels, and I really enjoyed whenever he would make art content. But usually, whenever he would make art content, it would be like, I don't know, probably not even a tenth of the views, right? And again, I can understand if you're gonna spend an hour doing a video, coming up with a topic, researching it, and shooting the video. Would you rather get paid nothing or a couple $100 and then rinse and repeat 3 times a day, and now you're making $600 a day or whatever? Like, it doesn't make sense to do this and get nothing whenever you can do it and get something. But it doesn't stop the fact that I enjoy his art content more than his political content. really whittling this thing down. I just want to get this one done, and then get those skulls in the pot done, which they should only need picked one more time a piece, and then I can mix up my 2-3 part solution for bleaching. And I can get all these skulls bleached up and move on with life. And I hope that at some point in time my mic did come back and that I wasn't just going on a rant with no input. Yeah, almost done here. I hope. This fatty deposit from behind the eye. Yes. Yep, I skin them. Here's the ear of one. But yeah, people will drop them off, skin them, flesh them all off, remove the eyes, brains, lower jaw, tongue, yada yada, and get them all into a pot to boil. And then once they're done boiling, and picking them clean, they get bleached, and they should come out kind of like that one. Nice and white, so people can hang them on their wall. But yeah, I grew up processing deer with my family to eat all the time, and then did a lot of skinning and tanning of smaller game hides from like trapping and whatnot. Make for this about 80 to 90 USD per head. So I've got like, it takes me an hour to skin them. It takes about an hour and a half to boil them off. And then applying the paste, so if they bleach, only, I might take like 15 minutes a head. And then they sit overnight. Everything the rest of the time is minimal. So it's probably around $35, $45 an hour if I'm cruising. But it's my day off from my normal day at job. So, and my father was like, "Hey, you want to come start taking over the European mounts for the skulls?" I'm like, "Sure." It's probably the highest return to time. So, possibly if you got into like some sort of industrial thing that you could find faster ways to skin and boil. Skinning probably not, like, because you still have, there's a lot of fiddly bones. It's not like there's a machine you can put it through to do it quickly. And boiling is the fastest return. You can get, there are beetles called dermestid beetles. They're flesh-eating beetles, but they only eat dead flesh. And you could put a head in there, and they'd strip it over the course of a day or two. But then Dad had some for a short while, but his main issue was they were very, very finicky. You need to have like an aquarium to keep them in. You had to keep them at a certain temperature, or else they would die. And he just kept having issues with climate controlling them. They'd all die off. Then he'd have to go order more, which I don't think they were the cheapest thing in the world, but they also weren't insanely expensive. And then you have to wait for them to get here, wait for them to like the colony to grow big enough to deal with the animal heads again, and then repeat. So, no, it kind of tends to continue to be a fairly manual labor type job. That's why taxidermists, like, it's not really an industry. It's kind of usually just some old dude in his barn. right, I gotta go probably grab one of those heads. I just don't want anything to fall apart out there. I already lost the nose off one of them, so I'll have to glue it. Ever tried playing a game using a different language? No. Is that essentially what I'm doing to you? Like I've watched anime and stuff, and I'll usually watch subtitles over dubbed unless I need to be like ignoring it for something. But that's about the closest I've come to any of that with other languages. Yeah, I will be right back. I don't know if my mic's gonna crap out again or not. All right, no, she is still heating up. Just want to get this thing done. Alrighty. French teaching dubbing video games. No. Like I said, I think the closest I've ever come to, yeah, was just anime, and then in kind of the same vein, like there have been some anime that I liked where they come out with a video game, and I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting, but it's only in Japanese, and so I'm like, well, unless I get good at reading Japanese, I'm probably not going to be playing this. The French. Never trust the French. Been watching too many people play Daisy, and they're just like, don't trust the French. If they show up, shoot them. Excellent death screens. Yeah, that's true. Usually it was just like we get tired of waiting for something to be dubbed, and we're like, all right, how annoying do they sound in the subtitle? And you're like, okay, they're not very annoying. We can watch this. Though that can also be said for some of the dubs where it's like, what the hell is this voice actor doing? They suck. I haven't really been watching too much anime lately. It's mostly just been like work, take care of family, draw or color comic book pages for Frog Tony. That's pretty much been my life. It's been a good one. It's just been very busy. I'm hoping that maybe I can do a little bit more art stuff, just kind of like a probably comedy. Then I'm not exactly in a position to be like, here's how you do this, because I'm not that good. And I'm going towards more of a cartoony style anyhow. I really respect the people who can pull off all of these highly realistic illustrations and super badass looking stuff with a ton of hashing, but I'm like, I think I'd probably kill myself if I had to do that. It would drive me insane. And I'm like, I want to be doing things now, and that's going to take me forever to learn. So I'm just trying to figure all that out. Definitely need to get. There we go. Definitely need to get a lapel mic set up, because this thing keeps working its way back behind my neck, and I don't even need an earbud in because I'm talking, not listening. So regardless, thank you for putting up with me figuring this out. I'm sure it's quite scuffed. Try to clean up some more of this gunk out of the eye. And then hopefully, the skulls that are in the pot have boiled enough that I can get them finished up and into the whitening sauce. Because I am getting tired. I am getting ready to go home. So it has definitely been nice to be able to stream and at least chit chat and have something to talk about every now and then. Even if it is just making me want to go watch anime and play some other video games. I think the last thing I played was Rainbow Six Siege and then Jackbox with my with my friends. For my one buddy's doing like, it's kind of missions work in Japan, but it's like he's running a guest house for missionaries for some like missions group. So it was his birthday and he's over in Japan, so we're like, hey, let's play some sort of party game with him. That was pretty fun. When you got a good group of people to play party games with, it's always a good time. All right, well, I guess it's time to hit it with the old brain scrambler. There we go. Get the last of that meaty gunk out of there, as much as I can get. I'm gonna get a fresh plastic bag because the last one I used for brains blew out all over me, and I don't really like having brains all over my floor. Get in here and scrape, scrape, scrape. Scramble it up. All right, well, I've just got a live stream running, so if you want to say hi to like one of two people that are in a chat.
Hi to the world.
Yeah. Before I blow the brains out of this thing. Yeah. Other sound. I think there's like one or two people currently watching.
Oh.
I figured I'd do something and, well, talk to people who pop in.
Do you remember the time that we dissected a deer eyeball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mentioned that whenever I was doing it earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, deer eyeballs. Like jelly with what looks like a
vitreous fluid.
One of those like decorative little glass beads.
Yeah.
That was the lens, and then just slowly.
It was the aqueous and vitreous fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of gross.
It's quite gross. What are we doing? I gotta blow the brains out of this one, and then yes, that's my mother. I'm gonna try to pronounce his name right again. Hervoje Grihovac.
He got his height from me.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. No, I got the nose fell off of one of those. I wondered because it was gapping whenever I was pulling it out. That's the sound. I just gotta grab it, and then the other two should be dang close. Nope, that didn't go through. Come on.
You need to leave yourself a little room.
I was trying, but it poked in. Quick rinsey rinse. There. Quick wash off. Wing and hair off of it. And go check my skulls outside. Yeah, that was my poor short Italian mama. That's that for now. Who is it? It's over here to dry. I'll have to check that out. I think I can play the Lara Croft games. Alright, check this skull outside. Between. Let's take a look see. Alright. Angle my Tetris. Deer head Tetris. That's looking dang good. Oh yeah. I was just about done. Looking way better. Unwrap this antler.
Cut it easy. Not much on score too deep, but the bottom of it.
Yeah, so I'm just cutting.
And then
Flip it around.
you gotta use a hot wash rack to clean that glue shit off.
Yeah. Yuck.
Are you still talking with me?
Yeah, it's just running. It's one of those things where even if somebody's not there, you just narrate. Alrighty. Skull's looking pretty clean compared to what it was. That's to say, I gotta clean up underneath here. A little bit of skin and hair. But yeah, that's came out pretty good. Especially the one that I just threw in there from today is probably very clean as well.
It doesn't know how young they are. Young ones clean up quick. I don't remember. Quicker.
Scrape this heavy gunk in the back. And then there's other heads. Which freezer do you want me to put it in?
What, the ones that you just skin?
Yeah.
That one right down here.
Okay.
You gonna take any with you at all, or?
If I get a chance, I'd probably just come back out on like Friday or something. Because tomorrow I'm gonna have to watch the kids so that Aaron can do a bunch of baking. So that's gonna be a no-go. Christmas. I mean, oh, I didn't tell you. It's Christmas. Do you need a reason to bake? No. Do you want cookies or not?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but if not, she won't feel right about not being able to do cookies and stuff. The little baker girl. Yeah. Final touches, hopefully. Wow. Some of these ones right where that antler comes down to the bone have really deep crevice. I'm just flicking and more crap keeps coming out.
Use that, this one right there, that devil tool.
Oh, true. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that.
It's tough, man. You
Picks.
don't even carve it right out. That little one's hard, but the other one, you know. Really hard.
There we go. Good for not just cleaning teeth. And hopefully all I should have to do is just give this a rinse and it's done.
Comes up in your nose cavity.
Yeah, look. I haven't made it that far yet.
Sure, you gotta rebuild tips on here.
Were they bust off or were they busted off
You don't
beforehand?
want it shot off.
Oh, yep.
You just, see what I mean about this? These just
Yeah, I gotcha.
Thumb hanging down like that. So I'm getting, I'm making.
So could you use a lower jaw on the antelope instead of?
No, you gotta tip them up. Even these, they look better tipped up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I'm
gotcha.
going to,
There's like a pedestal or something behind it to tip it out.
yeah, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of water tips. That's what I'm going to.
I gotcha.
And I'll charge, like 10 or 15 bucks for the extra, for a thing to tip it out. And I know they're gonna come for it.
Probably. Yeah, especially if you can show you like, hey, here's how much better it looks.
I mean,
No,
you're
no,
looking pretty
no.
good, but this look much better. How,
Maybe.
you have an open slot out there?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, they're both pretty big, so.
I just need to stick the salt in a little bit.
Should be able to that. Break all this bone out of the nose.
You want me to do that?
Whatever. Also, I just gotta get up in here so I can try to get some more glope out.
That looks pretty good.
I just don't want to break anything I shouldn't break. Yeah, you can go ahead and I'll just go grab another one out of the pot. I can take, which one do you want me to take out with me and throw back in the pot?
Any one of these, just drop in.
What's that? I'm going to grab another head, so I can probably just put them both in. Wow. Oh, baby. Back in the pot. Tetris these back down in. God, there's so much steam I can't see. There we go. I think that's all in. Cool. It's starting to snow. It is starting to snow. Grass. Starting to snow out there. Lightly, thankfully. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. There we go. Got that nerve out of the jaw. Ugh, like a big worm. Oh, the horn is quite warm. Peel this all off. I mean, that's the hope, right? Minimize the amount of work you have to do up inside where you can't get to anything. Hot, hot, hot. All right. My pick. Scrape this last bit off of the bag. Ooh, warm. Just thinking the antlers get warm.
What's that?
The antlers get warm.
Yeah, they do.
I'm like, whoo, 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 whoo.
And that's part of the reason the oil sucks right up into the.
Yeah, so I figured that probably opens up any pores and stuff. The rest of it look okay? Is there any other spots I gotta pay attention to hitting harder?
Say what now?
So does that come out mostly okay, or is there anything I was missing that I need to look at hitting harder?
Just these here, just this shit here.
Yeah.
Try and scrape, put this on there and just scrape it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you can leave a little tiny bit, but not much. I don't want.
Yeah, you don't really much in it.
They're paying for a good job. And then I get over there and clean it. But no, we're pretty close. And again, you can pick at them, but bottom line is you get most 98% of it out of it.
Yeah.
Again, what I have a problem with it, I start on one spot and then
Yeah, miss other. Well, that's what I said. That's why I'm like trying to keep like, okay, well, I missed this a little bit last time, so I got to make sure to double check that spot and be like, oh yeah, I didn't even look at that spot yet. That's the one that the nose popped off on. But you can see, I mean, even up here right now is loose.
Yeah.
See, the whole thing started to
pull that. Pull.
pop pretty well.
As soon as you're done, you'll put a band on it, pull back, you know.
Yep.
Well, we use rubber